The hidden truth about astral parasites. They feed on what you ignore. It's time to see the unseen. The hidden truth about astral parasites. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, feeling like something invisible was watching you? Or experienced a sudden wave of exhaustion, anxiety, or sadness, without any clear reason why? What if I told you that not all your thoughts, feelings, or even cravings are truly yours? In the unseen dimensions of existence, just beyond the reach of our physical senses, there exists a realm teeming with life. But not all of it is benevolent. Hidden from the human eye, certain entities lurk in the astral world, feeding off something far more precious than food or water: your energy. These entities are known by many names throughout history: energy vampires, psychic leeches, spirit attachments. But in the realm of esoteric wisdom, they are more precisely understood as astral parasites. They thrive in the shadows of your consciousness. They amplify fear, magnify anger, and whisper subtle doubts that cause you to sabotage your own progress. Like parasites in the physical world, their survival depends on a host. And for many people walking the earth today, that host is them. But this isn't just fear-mongering or occult fantasy. For thousands of years, mystics, shamans, and spiritual warriors have spoken of these entities, passed down warnings through sacred texts and initiatory rites. From Tibetan Buddhism to Hermeticism, from indigenous medicine journeys to modern-day energy healers, this hidden war for our energy has always been part of the spiritual path. In this video, we're going to unveil the truth. You'll learn what astral parasites really are, where they come from, and why they're so deeply attracted to certain people. We'll explore their tactics, the subtle, invisible ways they manipulate thought, emotion, and behavior. Then, we'll dive into ancient teachings and practical methods to protect yourself, cleanse your energy, and reclaim sovereignty over your spiritual space. This is not a topic to fear, but one to understand, because awareness is the first step to freedom. So stay with me, because once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. To understand astral parasites, we must first understand the ancient view of the human being, not as a body with a spirit, but as a spirit having a bodily experience. In nearly every esoteric tradition, the human is seen as a multi-layered being: physical body, emotional body, mental body, and subtle energy bodies, all interwoven with the soul. These layers form what is often referred to as the aura, a luminous field of energy that surrounds and penetrates the body. In the West, the Hermetic teachings, especially the writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, speak of the invisible influences that affect human consciousness. While these teachings use symbolic language, they hint at non-physical forces that can either elevate the soul or bind it to the material world. One such force is referred to as the counterforce, an entity or energy that resists spiritual evolution and thrives on chaos and lower vibrations. In Eastern traditions, particularly Tibetan Buddhism, we find references to hungry ghosts, beings trapped in insatiable desire, roaming unseen realms and clinging to the living in order to satisfy their cravings. These are not metaphors. The Bardo Thodol, known in the West as the Tibetan Book of the Dead, details how disembodied spirits, confused and desperate, can attach to the living through energetic resonance, especially if that person is indulging in the same emotional or addictive patterns that the spirit once had. The Gnostic texts, long hidden and only rediscovered in the Nag Hammadi library, speak of archons, malevolent, inorganic beings that interfere with human thought. The Gnostics believed these archons were not mere myth, but psychic intruders that use deception and fear to derail the soul's journey back to the divine. In shamanic cultures around the world, from the Amazon to Siberia, spiritual illness is often diagnosed not with medicine, but with vision. Shamans speak of soul loss or spirit intrusion, where harmful entities penetrate a weakened aura, often during trauma, addiction, or emotional collapse. What ties all of these teachings together is the understanding that the spiritual world is not empty. It is populated. And just as there are beings of light, guides, angels, ancestral spirits, there are also beings of shadow, drawn to unresolved wounds, negative thought patterns, and low-frequency emotions. This is not about good versus evil in the religious sense. It's about resonance. Astral parasites are like spiritual scavengers. They're drawn to the energy we emit, and when our vibration sinks through fear, rage, guilt, addiction, they come feeding. Historically, initiates were taught how to shield their energy, cleanse their aura, and maintain spiritual hygiene, just as we brush our teeth or wash our hands. But in the modern world, with its obsession with materialism and denial of the unseen, most people walk around energetically wide open, leaking life force like a wounded animal bleeding in the jungle. And just as blood attracts predators, so too does unconscious energy attract entities that feed off it. Astral parasites are not a new phenomenon. They've been with us since the dawn of human consciousness. The difference now is that the ancient knowledge to defend ourselves has been buried, ignored, or dismissed. But we're here to change that. Let us now pierce the veil. What exactly are astral parasites? Imagine for a moment the human aura as a luminous egg, pulsing with light, color, and rhythm. This energetic field is not only a reflection of your health and emotions, but also your spiritual state. Now, within this field, small tears or distortions can form, caused by intense fear, prolonged grief, substance abuse, or even unconscious thought loops. These vulnerabilities become like open doors in a house with no guard. Astral parasites, then, are not physical creatures, but energetic entities, conscious in some way, though not necessarily intelligent in the way humans are. They are like instinctual programs of hunger. You can think of them as viruses of the astral world. They do not create their own energy, so they must steal it from others. But unlike a mosquito or a leech, astral parasites don't just feed and go. They embed. They attach themselves to your energetic field, often near one of your chakras, particularly the lower 3 centers, where fear, lust, and anger are most accessible. They can whisper into your mind, not with words, but with impulses. Suddenly you feel compelled to lash out at a loved one, indulge in an addiction, or spiral into self-loathing. And here's the dangerous part. They feed off those very emotions. It is a self-sustaining loop. The parasite influences you to feel something low vibrational. You react. That emotion releases energy. The parasite absorbs it. And then it does it again. Over time, a person begins to mistake the parasite's voice for their own. In fact, many people's inner critics, the voice that says, "You're worthless," "You'll never succeed," or "Just give up," are not their authentic selves, but the echo of an attached entity trying to maintain its food source. They are cunning, they are patient, and their greatest weapon is invisibility. Now, it's important to differentiate. Not every negative emotion is caused by a parasite. We are human. We feel anger. We grieve. We stumble. But when those states become chronic, when they no longer arise in response to life, but seem to persist without cause, that's when we must ask, is something feeding here? Astral parasites thrive on certain frequencies. These include fear, especially existential fear or paranoia; shame and guilt, which create dense, sticky energy; addiction, particularly to substances, sex, or attention; victim mentality, which generates a loop of helplessness and blame; unresolved trauma, especially from childhood. These energies act like invitations. And just like a rotting fruit attracts flies, unprocessed wounds attract these unseen feeders. In Kabbalistic mysticism, the qliphoth, literally husks or shells, are said to be parasitic forces that cling to the soul when one engages in spiritual work without purification. The idea is simple. Light attracts shadow. The brighter your potential, the more likely you are to be noticed by entities who wish to divert that light. This is why many people experience intense emotional chaos right after beginning a spiritual practice. Meditation stirs up repressed emotion. Shadow work reveals long-buried pain. And in the midst of this inner storm, parasites may attempt to anchor themselves. But remember, they are opportunistic, not omnipotent. They require a host. And you have more power than you realize. They are not here to frighten you. They are here to teach you vigilance. To fully grasp the nature of astral parasites, we must explore not only how they attach, but how they evolve with us. Some begin as small, fleeting shadows, mere thought forms created by our own repeated negative emotions. These are known in esoteric teachings as elementals, energies born of our own psyche, fed by repetition. A person who constantly thinks, "I'm not good enough," begins to form a thought form that over time takes on a subtle independence. It becomes like a looped program, and eventually, like an entity with a will of its own. Now imagine a world where billions of people are radiating pain, anger, fear, shame, daily, hourly. This collective emission gives rise to a dense astral environment. Just as pollution forms smog in a physical city, emotional and mental pollution forms astral smog in the unseen world. And within this smog, some things swim. There are parasitic entities that are not formed by us, but which dwell in this low vibration field. They seek those whose energetic defenses are compromised, trauma survivors, addicts, spiritually curious people dabbling without protection. In some cases, the parasite is inherited, passed down generationally through unresolved family wounds, ancestral trauma, or bloodline pacts. A child may carry the spiritual burden of something their ancestors could not resolve, and the parasite, like a dormant seed, waits until the right emotional conditions awaken it. In more advanced cases, some individuals become fully identified with the parasitic influence. These are the people who sabotage themselves endlessly, who lash out at those who love them, or who fall into cycles of abuse and self-destruction. In extreme scenarios, the person may become what esoteric traditions call obsessed or possessed, where the line between the host and the parasite becomes blurred. But again, this isn't always as dramatic as the movies portray. Often, the most dangerous parasites are the subtle ones, the voice of despair that speaks when you're alone, the craving that returns no matter how much you heal, the strange fatigue that sets in after certain people, places, or conversations. Let's look at 3 primary types of astral parasites encountered in spiritual literature. Emotional feeders. These thrive on negative emotions. They spike your energy with fear or sadness, then feed off the release. They often use memories and regrets as entry points. Sexual vampires. Often encountered in dreams or astral travel, these entities feed off sexual energy. They can appear as alluring figures in sleep or meditation, triggering arousal to siphon energy. Thought leeches. These entities attach to the mental body and subtly influence thinking patterns. They're the ones that may distort your self-image, lead you towards self-sabotage, or convince you to doubt your spiritual path. Some teachings even suggest that entire ideologies, belief systems, or mass movements can be parasitic in nature, acting as collective egregores that feed off the energy of large groups. When millions believe the same fearful narrative, they generate a field that sustains a parasitic structure. But here is where your power lies. Awareness collapses influence. When you observe the parasite without feeding it, when you stop reacting to its triggers, it weakens, it shrivels, it loses its grip. You are not powerless. You are not prey. You are a spiritual being learning to reclaim your energetic sovereignty. And in the next section, we will explore exactly how to do that. You will learn techniques used by mystics, warriors, and adepts for thousands of years. Techniques to cleanse, protect, and fortify your energy field. Because the war is not just out there, it's in here. And the moment you choose to become conscious, you become free. Knowledge without practice is like a sword still sheathed, shimmering with potential, but powerless in battle. Now that you understand what astral parasites are, it's time to learn how to defend yourself. Not through fear, but through awareness, discipline, and spiritual hygiene. Let's begin with the most essential truth. Your vibration is your armor. Just as mold thrives in dampness and rot, parasitic entities thrive in low-frequency environments, where despair, addiction, shame, and unconscious habits reign. But when your inner temple is radiant with clarity, intention, and spiritual fire, there is no foothold for them. The cleaner your field, the less you are available to feed them. Here are 7 practices to help you reclaim your energy and fortify your aura. 1. Daily energy cleansing ritual. At the end of each day, take a moment to purge your field. Stand barefoot if possible. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Visualize a waterfall of white or violet light pouring over you from above, cleansing your aura, dissolving cords, attachments, foreign thoughts. As the water flows, say inwardly, "Anything that is not mine must now return to source." You are not asking, you are commanding. This matters. 2. Salt baths or showers. Salt is one of the most ancient purifiers. A handful of sea salt in your bath, or even scrubbing your body with salt in the shower, can help clear stagnant energy. Add herbs like rosemary, mugwort, or lavender for extra potency. As you wash, imagine you are peeling away layers of astral debris. 3. Cut energetic cords. If you feel drained after seeing certain people, or after social media, sexual encounters, or arguments, it's likely cords were formed. These are energetic connections that allow energy to leak. Use this simple method. Close your eyes. Picture the cords. Say, "I now sever any cords not formed in love and divine will." Visualize yourself cutting them with a golden blade. Fill the space where they were attached with light. 4. Mindfulness and thought policing. Parasites thrive on unconscious loops. If you do not guard your mind, something else will live there. Begin watching your thoughts like a hawk. When you notice the same negative phrase arise repeatedly, "I can't, I'm broken, it's hopeless," pause. Ask, "Is this really mine?" This simple question begins to dissolve the parasite's camouflage. 5. Sacred fire breathing. This is a potent technique used by mystics to burn off energetic attachments. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Exhale forcefully through the mouth for 6 to 8 counts. Repeat for 7 rounds. As you do, visualize fire igniting within your solar plexus, growing outward, engulfing your aura. Imagine anything parasitic burning away in the flame. Fire is purification. Breath is spirit. Together, they reclaim your temple. 6. Sleep protection techniques. Many parasites feed in the dream state, where your guard is down. Before bed, draw a circle around your bed with your finger or a crystal, and visualize a dome of light sealing the space. You can also place protective stones like black tourmaline, obsidian, or amethyst nearby. Say, "Tonight, I travel only in the light. No energies may enter without my permission." 7. Spiritual discipline. Ultimately, spiritual hygiene must become a habit. Like brushing your teeth or showering, your energetic field needs maintenance. Meditation, journaling, prayer, mantra, or energy work, whatever your practice, make it consistent. Parasites feed on chaos. Order dissolves them. One final and powerful method: name them. If you feel the presence of a parasite, if it has a voice, an impulse, a recurring pressure, confront it directly. Say out loud, "You are not me, I see you. You no longer have permission to remain." The act of naming reclaims your authority. Like shadows dissolving in light, parasites cannot survive exposure. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, if the influence is too strong or persistent, seek help from a trusted healer, shaman, or energy worker. There is no shame in asking for support on the invisible battlefield. Remember this: you are not a victim. You are a sovereign being. Your energy is sacred. You are not here to be devoured. You are here to awaken. So now you know. The unseen world is not just an abstract concept or a playground for mystics. It is a living reality that moves through us, around us, and often because of us. Astral parasites, once considered myth or metaphor, are real. Energetic hitchhikers that feed off our unconsciousness, our emotional wounds, and our spiritual neglect. But the truth is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to free you. You are not a fragile spark tossed in the void. You are the flame itself. And every technique you've learned in this video is a step toward reclaiming that flame. Now ask yourself, how often do you give your power away? How many times have you fed a voice that was never yours? How long have you mistaken a parasite's whisper for your own inner critic? Today that changes. You are the guardian of your temple, the keeper of your light. And once you see the invisible, you can never be manipulated in the same way again. That's the gift of awakening. It may shake you, but it never abandons you. Remember, your awareness is the sword. Your will is the shield. Your love is the fire that no parasite can withstand. So protect your energy. Speak with intention. Breathe with power. And walk through this world not as prey, but as a sovereign soul cloaked in light. If this teaching spoke to something deep within you, reflect on it tonight. Try the cleansing rituals. Observe your thoughts. Pay attention to your dreams. The invisible world is always speaking. You just have to listen. And if you feel called to go deeper into these mysteries, stay close. There is far more to uncover, and your awakening has only just begun. If this message found you, it wasn't by accident. There are deeper forces at work, and the more you awaken, the more clearly you'll begin to see them. If you want to explore the ancient teachings, hidden dimensions, and forgotten truths the world tries to silence, subscribe and turn on notifications. We release knowledge you won't find in mainstream books or temples. Share this with someone who senses something isn't right, but can't explain why. They might be fighting a battle they don't yet see. And in the comments below, tell us, have you ever felt a presence that wasn't yours? You're not alone. And here, you'll never be dismissed for asking the real questions. Until next time, stay protected, stay illuminated, and remember, your awareness is your greatest weapon.